Welcome to Pastor Jerome TV. I'm your host, Pastor Jerome Davison, and we have more details on the sex trafficking pastor from Ohio, Cordell Jenkins, who was having sex with underage girls and pimping them out for sex. He held them against their will, and so he's probably going to get some time for that too, for kidnapping and holding people against their will. Now, what is not coming as a surprise is that his wonderful, loving, spiritual, very Christian congregation is raising money for him. That's right. They're raising money for him, but they're not raising money for the victims. You see, well, people always attack me, telling me that I'm the reason why people don't come to church and all that kind of stuff. And I always tell them, hey, everybody's got their own choice. I can't force nobody to go to church anyway. But here's the thing. Stupid stuff like this is the reasons why people don't trust church. Because when their pastors make a sin or commit sins, which they often do, it appears to be that these guys can't keep their zipper up when it comes to animals or anything, children, beasts, anything to come around, they'll have it. And so now, when you start raising money for the pastor who committed these type of things and not raising money for the victims, you should have all types of caring cards and going to see the parents of the victims and putting that money together to see about the people. Making sure they get some kind of therapy or something. What about those poor little children who need therapy and need money? Now, see, the pastor's in the hands of the feds. They'll feed him. You don't have no business trying to raise money for this guy because he's going to be convicted of these crimes. Now, in the video too, you'll notice that his wife was out of town on sick and personal time, and he wasn't even with her. When these crimes was taking place and he was having sex with these girls, she was out of town. And see, that's a problem. If you're going to be married, be happily married. And then don't let your marriage be a front while you let your husband run around and pretend to be a real man, while he's a punk and a pedophile and all of these things. Don't be a front. Now, she has to step down from her job because she works around children in the county. So I wouldn't be surprised if she's some kind of way tied up into this stuff, and now she's trying to distance herself from the whole thing.
New details tonight in the sex trafficking case involving two local pastors. One of them faced a federal judge. His wife, Laura Lloyd Jenkins, has decided to take a leave of absence from her position on the Lucas County Children's Services Board. 13 ABC's Alexis Means broke this story last week and was in the courtroom when a judge heard Pastor Cordell Jenkins' case. Alexis joins us live with today's developments. Alexis.
Well, Pastor Cordell Jenkins appeared nervous in court. We saw him communicate with his wife. It appeared he knew he was not getting out of jail. He told her, next time. I gotta ask you. You want to make a comment?
I'm sorry, but no comment.
Okay.
No comment.
It's the first time Pastor Cordell Jenkins' wife, Laura Lloyd Jenkins, has appeared in public. She is the Lucas County administrator. She was out of town on sick and personal time when the FBI arrested her husband. 13 ABC caught up with her after her husband's federal court hearing. The men walking with her got angry when we asked her to comment on the allegations against her husband.
Can you shut up?
Do you want to make a comment?
Do it look like I want to make a comment? No comment.
Dozens of friends, family, supporters, and sex trafficking victims packed the courtroom for his detention hearing. Pastor Jenkins has hired a civil rights attorney out of Detroit to help defend him. He waived his rights to a detention hearing today. His attorney will file a motion for another detention hearing at a later date. People who attended the hearing had mixed emotions.
It's all in God's hand. That's all I can say. I don't want to leave no fault, but it's all in God's hand.
He's a sick person to do this.
Alessandra De Romano is a survivor of sex trafficking. She now helps other sex
here's a
trafficking
right-thinking
victims.
person.
She had strong words for Pastor Jenkins and his congregation.
I also feel that it's bad that his congregation is raising money for him. For what? They're the victims too because they're ignorant and they're not realizing what's going on. So am I very vocal? Yes. Do I care what people think? No. Do I care about the victims? Yes, that's all.
The victims are underage. Pastor Anthony Haynes' detention hearing was continued. He's also accused of having sex with a minor in exchange for money. His lawyer filed this motion yesterday, asking for more time to prepare a defense to why he should not be detained. Haynes' brother was in the courtroom today for Jenkins' hearing.
You gonna stay in
It's
there.
not clear if Jenkins' wife is standing by his side. The Lucas County administrator has been tight-lipped about the federal charges against her husband.
Wow, man.
Some citizens have a lot of questions. Do you plan to resign?
She doesn't want to make it out.
Working around kids.
Now, both pastors will remain locked up at the Lucas County Jail.
Now, when are they going to go back to court?
Well, Haynes will go back to court next week. As far as Jenkins, they have not set a date just yet.
All right, Alexis, thanks. And